Welcome to the Top 7 Behaviors tutorial. Hi, I'm Mark and I'm going to teach you how to utilize the top 7 behaviors during your coaching. This will help to ensure that we can strategically correct certain behaviors that give us the biggest overall impact. I just want to give you a quick history about why we decided to create this report. The question has always been, are we really coaching the behaviors that have the biggest impact? That's something that we couldn't really tell before. We were limited to the few amount of calls that we were personally able to observe. This does not establish a behavioral trend on a broader level. And because we have a wealth of valuable data at our disposal, this report will allow us to unlock the potential of that information and give us a deeper insight into our teammates' strengths and weaknesses. Now with this report, we are given the capability to coach based on a true behavioral trend. As a rule of thumb, we will coach a behavior for 3 weeks until we have seen consistent compliance. Why 3 weeks? The reason is because we can identify the teammates' negative behaviors that have become habits and hurt performance. Then through coaching, we can replace them with habits that instead drive performance positively. We will start by using the PayPal OM dashboard as reference. This will tell us what contact type our teams are getting the most survey returns for, which will validate QA findings on the top 7 behaviors. We're going to pull up data from Mark Louis Feria on the OM dashboard. Looking at the left side under contact reasons, we have completed payment as his top contact type for the past 2 months based on surveyed contacts. So now we have established what contact type we are being surveyed on the most. Now let's go to the top 7 behaviors. After you pull up the file, select your geography. And to look at TL level data, click the Team Manager view on the blue header. Click on the search box area, type your name or part of your name, and click the drop-down arrow. Then press Look Up Data to pull up your team's data. Before we look at the graph, let's take a look at the top 7 behaviors listed on the right of the graph. The order in which they are arranged is important because they are listed in the order of most to least impactful on your performance. You'll notice that uses tools to handle the query appropriately is on top, which signifies that it's the most impactful behavior in general. Meaning, improving that behavior will give us the biggest lift to your scores. The remaining behaviors are based on impact as well. The top graph is just a visual representation of week-by-week performance for each of the top 7 behaviors. We can see here that Neil's team has yet to establish a concrete habit of using tools appropriately. Although there are some signs of improvement, the overall trend is still very much inconsistent. If we move further down to the top 10 contacts section below, you can easily identify the contact types that are most commonly observed for your team. Now let's again look at Mark Louis Feria and see what we can find. To search, the process is similar to what we used for the team leader level. Click the Teammate View header and then type part of the agent's name. Then click the drop-down arrow as before. Select the name. Finally, press Look Up Data. We will first check Mark's performance on the most impactful behavior. Remember, that behavior is at the top of the list. So if a different behavior is checked, you can manually switch to the top behavior. which is, of course, uses tools to handle the query appropriately. Mark is consistent in using his tools, as we can see here. Now we will check the second most impactful behavior. Here it is clear that although he's using his tools, he's struggling to use them efficiently. Further evidence to that is that based on the OM dashboard, his average handle time for phone is 421 seconds, as we can see here. Now let's look at Mark's top 10 contact drivers. The graph will show the completed payment is most observed for the past 4 weeks. Now, if you recall in the OM dashboard, completed payment is also his top contact type. This shows us that QA is in fact focusing on the right contact types, as completed payment is both number 1 on the OM dashboard and the QA top contacts charts based on volume. Now back to the top 7 behaviors file, we'll take a little further look. Although he performs well in this contact, his AHT has room to improve. From the data on the top 7 behavior file, we can conclude that the main drivers for his high AHT is inefficient use of tools. So now we know what to coach, using tools efficiently on completed payment calls in particular. And now, this is where the report really helps our TLs. In the past, most leaders would see 100% compliance on this behavior and shift to another behavior. But remember, it takes 21 days to form a habit, so as a rule, we will continue to coach this behavior until we see consistency over the next 3 weeks. Next question is, how am I going to coach to that behavior? We have a guide for that. For users tools to handle the query efficiently, we need to find out why the TM is failing. To do that, we need to perform a root cause analysis. Once we know whether the problem is due to skill, will, or knowledge issues, we can determine the coaching method. If it's a knowledge or skill issue, we would use a keyboard roleplay session to test the TM skills using their tools in a test environment. If it's a will issue, we will have an accountability conversation with the teammate. We would have a conversation around using Compass, Info Center, and Huddle Guides completely, and not relying on support to answer our queries. Always remember that looking for support takes time, and they'll be using the same tools as you would to solve the issue. Asking them for basic questions is going to hurt AHT and efficiency. How will I validate that this behavior has been corrected? We will use the methods on the table. In this case, we will use burst monitoring, which is listening to the section of the call that contains the specific behavior, then moving on to another call example, and this is repeated approximately 10 times. We continue this process for 3 weeks until the behavior has been corrected consistently and is now a habit. And now in this case, it will be a positive habit. The TL will have confirmation of success when they see 100% for at least 3 weeks on the graph. I'm confident you will see the value in using this tool. Thanks for joining this tutorial, and good luck.